Good evening and welcome back to another edition of Smoke and Mirrors presented by the Sports Hit List. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. You haven't seen us for a week. It is a Smoke and Mirrors Monday. Fellas, how y'all doing?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'm good, man.
Feels good to be back.
It is good to be back. And honestly, it feels longer than just a week. Right. And we've been on and off a few times. I know that. Apologies for everyone. I know there's people who look forward to us at 7:15 on a Monday. So, apologies on the Mondays we miss, but we're here to give you all the sports that you love, need, and want to hear about from us. Deck, my man, how are you doing?
Not bad. Happy to be back. I know obviously we missed Memorial Day last week, so no episode, but then I missed the two before that, moving out finals week and then moving out of college. So happy to be back. It's been a minute.
Bro. I haven't seen your face in a while.
Seriously, man. No games against the Twins anytime soon. So I think we got a month till our next matchup. So haven't been able to duke it out with you guys on the field or
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'm excited for it.
Definitely. Well, we lost Greg for a hot second. But for this Monday, we're gonna talk about the NBA Finals because we weren't able to talk about game one. We're gonna talk about these first two games because they've been night and day, as you can imagine. And we're gonna get into the kings of baseball right now, which is New York Mets and New York Yankees. Because I mean, there's some people who didn't think it was coming, right? It's June 6th, people, and the Mets are in first place.
Don't even get me started.
Oh, we'll get into it. And I want to talk about Aaron Judge because he gambled on himself. And if you ask me, he's winning right now. All right. So before we get started, actually, just in the nick of time, have a guest that we always love to hear from. Boss man himself, Carl Coulange, is here because we can't talk about these finals and not have the Celtics fan himself on. Carl. How you doing, sir?
What's going on?
Get that video fixed.
Yeah, it's loading. I'm coming on. It should be on right now. Just give me a sec.
Come on, Professor. Get it together.
There it is. Oh. There it is. Here I am. What's going on, people?
Good thing. How you doing?
Carl, I'm all right. I'm hanging in. Can't complain. Positive vibes this weekend. The documentary's out, so it's a great weekend. So can't complain. I'm truly blessed.
Also, congrats on the Master Joe documentary, the new branching out of the Sports Hit List.
Trying, man. Listen, 30 for 30, better be careful, man. Listen, they got reviews, 30 for 30, man. Listen, you guys on deck. I'm telling you, 30 for 30 ain't got nothing on us. I'm telling you, man. They gonna see us. For sure.
You got the sauce right now, Carl. That's all that means, bro. That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you got it, but I don't know if your Celtics got it right now. We're gonna get into them. All right.
Please do. Please. I'm all here for the smoke. I'm ready for it. Let's go.
I'm not even trying to come at you crazy like that, but like we have a game one, Celtics win 120-108. And now we have game two, Golden State wins 107-88. Right? These blowouts continue to happen in this postseason, following in the finals. And Carl, I want to hear from you first. What do you think is the biggest difference from game one to game two? Seeing these, again, night and day kind of appearances from both sides?
Well, our others didn't make shots, honestly. I mean, when you talk about game one, you had guys like Derek White, Al Horford, Marcus Smart, who stepped up. In game two, Al Horford, I believe, didn't hit a field goal till the second half. That's problematic, and the other part of it is Draymond was Draymond. And I said this last night on the post game. Draymond is basically what Dennis Rodman was, annoying. And that's what he does. He was getting physical. He was basically, touching, and he does the thing where he gets your arm wrapped up in the defender so they can, flail arms. He got into Jaylen Brown's head by, tying him up on the ground and pushing him and shoving him and just being himself. And that's what he does. And that's what an enforcer does. He's like the, Xavier McDaniels, that Anthony Mason type of guy.
That's some throwback names there. Showing your age, bro.
I know, but those are the players that remind me when I see Draymond on the court. And, when you have that defensive anchor, like, again, he's not there for offense. He's there for defense. And literally there's a play where Draymond is basically setting screens on three different Boston defenders just to get Steph open. And when Draymond is playing like that at a high caliber, you can't beat that. And also scoring 14 points in the third quarter is not going to get the job done either. So that was also a difference. And I believe our starters in the fourth quarter. I think at that point, Ime was like, let me shut this thing down. So we can't compete when you have, Draymond playing great defensively and Steph Curry's going off in the third.
Greg, your thoughts on this?
So the Boston Celtics shot 51% from three in game one. That was absolutely unsustainable. I don't even think the Warriors would shoot 51% from three and we would think it would be sustainable. It's just not your average. It's an outlier.
Yeah, they shot 41 game two.
Oh, even then that's still good, but 41 and 51 is a big difference. And especially when you got guys like Carl said, Derek White. I think Derek White had like 6 or 7 threes.
Yeah, around there. Yeah, Al Horford had 6 threes in game one. Yeah,
these are things that don't happen every day. And if you're others, as Carl calls them, I don't know if that's rude or derogatory yet. I haven't figured it out.
No, Shaq says it all the time.
It's probably a bit of both, to be honest with you.
They're the others. They're not the stars. They're not they're not super. They're others. That's what they are.
Shaq is also known to be disrespectful, so I'm a deem it disrespectful. But I don't see them doing that again for maybe one other game, but I just think the Warriors have too much depth in terms of scoring ability for the Celtics to keep up. And for the record, I do think the other thing at play here is something that Anthony Mullen would love to hear. Let me stir the pot a little bit. The fact that Steph Curry had a big game, but it wasn't a close game. So is Steph Curry going to be able to show up when the game is close? This is starting to be the stigma around Steph Curry. If the Warriors are I think it's down 6 or up 6 in the fourth quarter, he doesn't shoot well. Are we gonna be able to see him and get that elusive Finals MVP? I think he could do it, but this is a chatter I'm seeing around social media. People questioning Steph's legacy, so to speak. What are your thoughts on that, Steph?
I haven't seen that particular chatter, but I understand it, and I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it.
And go ahead.
I say only because, like, when you think about greatness, right? It's the clutch moments. For every player that has the amazing stat sheet that you can look back and say, man, they led the league in this, or they did that, greatest shooter of all time. When it comes down to in the biggest moments, that's what they get judged by. LeBron is consistently judged by that. And you can't be a Steph Curry, say he's the face of the NBA, and in clutch time, you're not showing up. All right. Like, the receipts are there. And end of the day, he's the greatest shooter all time, period. Right. He doesn't have the Finals MVP, but he has the championships. But ultimately, when you talk about individually now, looking at Steph Curry, if you're not going to show up when your team needs you most, you be the guy, balls in your hands, fraction of a second, how many of a seconds to go, and you're not going to make the shot, it diminishes the value. You can't look at them the same because all the greats did it. And you can be compared to other greats and you're coming short. So I think that's a fun little conversation to have. Deck, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think this whole thing about Steph's legacy being, up in the air, so to speak, over this finals thing without KD and everything you're seeing in the streets now is just getting a little ridiculous. Let's not forget who Steph Curry is. One bad performance in game one and now a good performance in a blowout game two is not going to sit here and take him out of finals MVP talk right now. And also, I just think that, excuse me, these whole memes about KD need to stop as well. Like, it's all this stuff that, he hasn't been to a final since, or he can't win without him. Like, I just think everybody needs to stop. Like, every month we knock another player down 2 sizes in the NBA for some ridiculous reason, whether it's Chris Paul, KD, Kyrie. Like, let's just calm down. And now it's Curry, and who's the greatest shooter of all time, who wasn't getting any flack a month ago.
I disagree with that. I don't think he hasn't been getting flack. It's not discrediting his greatness. It's when he's compared and people are saying things like he's the greatest point guard of all time, or that he's top 3 of all time. You're starting to see these narratives being spun. And I kind of push it on NBA media as well. And
Definitely.
You know what it is? It's the same thing. It's the chatty patty season. Less games. We need topics to talk about to keep the NBA relevant. And I probably agree with Declan. Every month there's a new narrative to try to, make us believe that this NBA player isn't a great. We do it with LeBron. We did it with Chris Paul. We did it with Kyrie. We did it with Kevin Durant. And then now it's like the media is being forced to give Steph Curry that Finals MVP. And if they don't, it's like all hell's going to break loose. You see what I'm saying?
I also disagree with Declan saying that this is just one bad game from Steph Curry. There's a reason that, albeit Anthony Mullen can be Anthony Mullen, but
you referenced him twice in the show? That's wild.
But there's a hint of truth to what he says in terms of Steph Curry in the big moments late in games and how he shoots. That doesn't diminish him being the greatest shooter of all time. It just means he doesn't shoot as well when they're down. But go ahead, Steph.
No, I was just gonna say I think it's more so a comparison to other greats, right? I don't think it makes him. It doesn't make him great.
Yeah.
But then when you're talking about the conversation of greats of all time, right? And that you start to compare those clutch moments, because again, that's really what makes them great, because they're doing something that other players just can't do. Those moments are you're talking about a different type of pressure on you to make that shot time and time again, to be that guy in that big moment. I don't think it doesn't make him less great in the overarching aspect of his career. But compared to other greats that have done it, yeah, it does diminish it a little bit when you think about it. I don't think it's nothing at all. I don't think it's just the media spinning it. Yes, it is a media narrative, but it's a very fun and interesting one to play around with and to look at.
I agree. It is fun and interesting. So Peter in the comments, shout out to the Cowboys fan, but he says it's the Bron fans hating. What do you guys think about that? Carl, I'll let you. Oh, my bad, Steph.
No. You know what it is right now? Like I get it. You like the Jalen Brunson to my Luka, and I'm messing with it right now. It's cool. Do your thing, bro.
It's gonna be Jalen Brunson.
Nah, King, you got it, Carl.
Nah, I'm back. Nah, I lost my Wi-Fi for a little bit. No, but again, I think everything everyone is saying is true, and I think part of it is we got into that of giving Steph a pass for not getting the Finals MVP. And I think, right now I made a list of his top 10 players. Everyone on that list had a Finals MVP. I think sometimes we kind of overlook it because of Steph, because he changed the game, because of his high volume shooting, because he's the greatest shooter of all time. And again, I think now going into this Finals, the media knows that they screwed up in 2015. It's going to be forced. Like the Warriors win, he's definitely getting it. He doesn't get it. It's like, again, all hell will break loose. But Greg, I think you made a point about, the Warriors' depth. I think that's the point that they're struggling with. Honestly, you look at it, Jordan Poole had 17 last night. Klay Thompson has been, non-existent so far in this series. So who's that go-to guy? We know Steph is going to be Steph. I think the question really comes down to, for the Warriors, is who's going to be that second scorer for the rest of the series that's going to help them win the series, because I don't know if Steph could do it by himself.
No, and you're right. I mean, game one, you saw it was really Steph and Wiggins, and then game two, Steph has 29, and you have the next highest scorer is Jordan Poole with 17.
Right.
And so you're right. Like, who is going to be that? But that's also kind of speaks to Golden State in the postseason, but also just this is the point I made earlier, how lopsided this postseason has really been, where you see guys show up one game and in the next game it's like if they forgot how to play, like the momentum isn't there. It's home field, whether it's home field advantage or not, whether you believe in that or not. These teams are, we're going from 20-point game to another 20-point game win. Like there's not enough close games, and Carl started.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I'll be honest. In terms of when it comes to the home court, I thought it was a factor, but then I look at the Celtics record on the road. I believe they're like 8-2 or 8-3, and then at home they're like 5-4. So I think that's non-existent for them.
It hasn't been, and it's just, again, through the playoffs, it's just been these lopsided games. And Carl, I want to hear from you. What do you make of this for the postseason? Because there are people who have been tuned out because of this. And what do you think is the cause? How do you fix something like that?
Well, you know what? I know Greg is gonna sit here with his petty comment that the best postseason. I know it's coming, but I'm gonna say it for him. The best postseason is the MLB postseason because of what happens. At the end of the day, I think on the court they said it best, is that certain series were supposed to happen and it didn't happen. And this is what, Phoenix was supposed to make it to the conference finals and it didn't happen. Some other, I think there was another a team that was supposed to Giannis and his team, because of Chris Middleton, possibly could have made it, but because of injuries and so forth, it doesn't make for an excuse. It's just unfortunate that what we predicted didn't necessarily happen. What are you going to do? I think it's a matter of maybe it's high defensive games and it does take away from the product, but these are the games being played. I don't think there's nothing you can do about to try to spice it up. I mean, what are you going to do? Like limit the amount of series, go back to the best of 5 in the first round to kind of cut it? I mean, that could be an option. So I'm not sure there's really a solution to it. You get what you get. It's unfortunate. Like every year is a different year. I mean, someone said they want super teams back as opposed to these homegrown teams in the playoffs, and they want superstars back. I honestly don't have an answer for these blowouts. It is what it is.
And those are the same people who were saying that they want homegrown teams back. 4
you can't make fans happy. Like again, and we even had the conversation yesterday about the NBA shortening their season, because I know that was a topic of conversation. And Richard Jefferson was like, how much more can we coddle these NBA players by shortening the season? And then you also spoke about a mid-season tournament in the NBA season. Like there's so many. Again, you can't make everybody happy. It's mid-season tournament's been floating around. That they
like the World Baseball Classic type of thing.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that Adam Silver wanted to do. Who knows? But again, that's something for the competition committee to really sit down and discuss. But
honestly, I wouldn't be mad at it because the regular season in basketball is very boring.
Yeah, but again, it goes back. So here's another thought: is okay. So how about we start the season around Christmas time? Because that's when the true NBA season really begins. Again, how much more can we do? Like, again, you can't make everybody happy because the diehards like, no, we want more NBA games. We don't want less NBA games. And then you're looking at your NBA League Pass. It's a lot less money because you're paying for less games. And then you have to worry about stadiums in terms of, booking. It's a whole lot of moving parts to decide to have less games or more games or whatever it is. There's really no right answer. I think Declan hit it on the money, is that you're not going to make everybody happy at the end of the day. Someone's going to be upset about what decision you ever make for it.
Jack, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about these games, these lopsided games? You don't have to have an answer for it, but have you been tapped in? Have you enjoyed it? Because there are people who are enjoying this postseason, right? It doesn't have to be close games for them to enjoy what's going on and how the games have been played. Do you fall on that camp?
This might come as a huge shock to people who know me, but I've actually been more tapped in and interested in the NHL playoffs than I have the NBA playoffs, just because of how exciting and power-packed and close those games are. Now, don't get me wrong. Never going to watch regular season hockey. Wouldn't even do it on a dare. No offense to my hockey people. It's just not happening. But playoff
hockey playoffs hit different, bro. You're not
totally
wrong.
Different, especially when your whole city's involved. I mean, especially with what the Rangers have done, even last year, what the Islanders have done. I tapped in a little bit, but now that it's in the heart of the city, obviously the Rangers just have a bigger market than the Islanders. New York, Long Island. No offense, guys. I know Carl's a Long Island guy. I know Greg has some Long Island roots, but
I care about the Islanders.
Exactly. He doesn't care about the Islanders. Half the people on the island don't care about the Islanders. That's why they moved in the first place. So seriously, look it up. But no. The NBA playoffs, I just think that there's been a little bit too many blowouts, and Carl is so right when he says the Suns were supposed to make the Western Conference Finals. The NBA got robbed of a great matchup there.
Your sister got robbed, bro.
Yeah, my sister I messed up. But we got 5 boring games of Mavs Warriors. So that wasn't the series it was supposed to be, but hey, it is what it is.
Again, what's the solution to when you get blowout into the teams that make it? Again, how do you combat that? There's really no, again, you can't tell a team to tank because we want to see another matchup.
And that's part of the problem. You can't really do anything about it. You just got to deal with it as a fan, but it sucks because there's no parity.
And you know what? I can't even lie. There are times where I fell asleep during the games because they were boring. I'm not going to lie to you. They are. There are times where I'm just like, what am I watching here? It sucks. As an NBA fan, I'm like, come on, guys, you're making me look bad out here in these streets. And I'm sitting here falling asleep during a game, and I'm just like, it's unfortunate, but you don't want to see the Mavs in the conference finals. It's like that's not what we want to see. So it's very difficult when you don't get the close games and interesting games.
They need to have more of these games on TNT, and they got to have Ernie, Shaq, and Chuck in the booth, and Kenny in the booth.
That might be a solution. Make it more entertaining while you're watching.
Yeah, they do. It's tough though.
All professional sports organizations or corporations need to take a page out of the Savannah Bananas book. Period.
That's a stretch. I love the Savannah Bananas, but to try to incorporate that into even a regular season to me,
it doesn't have to be like lighting bats on fire every night, but just the fan
dancing
interaction
before like a pitch, like
Savannah Bananas spring training game at George Steinbrenner.
Yeah, I mean, again, there's so many ideas out here to try to expand the game and what can they do. Like, again, there's shortening the season, there's the mid-season tournament, there's taking a break, there's so many things. Like, again, you can bring the playoffs back to the best of 5 to make it shorter, but that's going to cost money because they love the best of 7 because they make more money. Like, there's so many ideas out there that, again, the competition committee really has to go back and look and say, what's the best solution? I don't know what it is,
Shout out to Justin Ruiz in the comments. Says, now Greg is about fun. When have I ever not been about fun?
He doesn't know you long enough. I don't know.
But the sad thing is he does. He's just chatting right now. He's in the comments typing because he has fingers.
Part of it could also be, part of it could also be, and I hate to say it because, I'm not the greatest fan of the man, is there's no LeBron in the playoffs. He brings attraction. Like him being having a late postseason run or being in the playoffs brings the eyes and brings attention because people hate him and they love him. That's a main attraction. Not having LeBron in the playoffs, and even last year, it kind of hurts the league in a sense. As crazy as it sounds, it does hurt the league. Having your basically your cash cow miss the playoffs and not even go anywhere near it.
I mean, the NFL would survive, but like imagine if Brady won 8 games in a season and then didn't go, or Mahomes. That would start to kind of throw off the crux of the playoffs. So I could definitely see that point as to why it hasn't been as much of a spectacle as it usually is.
Well, but again, part of that is because people love LeBron and they hate him. The haters are going to watch just to see him fail. So it's a win.
Shout out to Mike Miller.
Yeah. So the haters are going to watch because they want to see him lose. And the people who love him are going to watch him because they want to see him win. There's really no, again, I guess in WWE terms, who's the villain in the playoffs?
Yeah. That polarizing figure.
Right.
Yeah. Right now it's Draymond, but he's not that big of a
he's
villain.
He's not a super duper villain. And even as much as we want to say Steph is a villain, he's really not because he's lovable, So you need a
He's
villain.
too nice.
Yeah. You need a villain in the playoffs. And that villain was Bron. There's no real villain anymore.
Why does it not surprise me that Reynald is in the comments talking about LeBron not being in the playoffs has been amazing?
It really, I mean, like I said, as a true fan, like do you want to see him go for that 5th championship or do you want to see him lose another finals? Either way, it's a great storyline for the league. So not having him there, it kind of, I guess the only storyline now you have is Steph Curry for finals MVP. Like really, if you think about it.
That's why it's being driven home so much.
Exactly, because there's nothing else to talk about.
Also, I am here for third mention, the Mullen vlog, if he doesn't get it though. Because that's going to be a instant classic.
He calls him Seth. That's what he calls him, Seth.
Seth. He hasn't called him Seth lately, and I think that.
I know he has. He 100% has.
Not
in group chats. Not in the in the Facebook group, but in group chats. I don't think he's ever referred to him as Steph Curry.
But again, I think the NBA is the only league that needs. I don't think MLB or NFL needs a villain. The NBA always needs a super villain that people are going to hate because they're going to tune in just to see that person fail.
That's because NBA fans suck. You know this.
Yeah, it's true. It's unfortunate, but that's how
that's because they were spoiled in the 90s with the bad boy Pistons and, all the physical basketball.
Were you alive yet, Declan?
No, I wasn't spoiled by this. I don't know anything.
I watch YouTube, bro. Like,
I do my research. But another thing that I don't know, Carl, you've probably seen some of this with the Tatum stuff. Can we scale back a little bit, on the Tatum Kobe thing? Do I have to see it in my feed every day?
Well, I guess it's because again, we all know he loved Kobe, he idolized Kobe. And I guess again, it's another narrative. It's the chatty patty content that people are driven by when there's no basketball. I guess that's how the NBA works, is we need something to keep us entertained, and Kobe Tatum comparisons are always going to be like that, so it's something like I think this morning I saw Kobe never had a minus 36 in the finals. Like, we can't compare him to Kobe. Like, that's the narrative for today. It's crazy, so.
But I mean, that goes back to what you were saying though, Carl. Like, without a LeBron James, you don't have a narrative strong enough to really get the people going So you latch on to anything, any and everything becomes,
it is.
Something you just throwing stuff at the wall, hoping that it sticks. And Tatum,
Honestly,
Kobe is
yeah.
I
that.
mean, but we got the man recreating Kobe. Kobe wasn't even a Celtic. We got him recreating his Celtics draft outfit the one time.
And we're bored. The
Facilities.
NBA fans, this is what's going to happen before free agency season. The NBA fans are bored. They need something to talk about. So they're going to find any meme that they're going to try to generate just to keep topics of interest. It happens every single year.
The best was when Tatum texted Kobe.
That was funny. I thought that was hilarious.
That was good.
Text me back when you get it done, right? Something
Yeah,
like that.
I like that one. I like the one where it was like Kyle Lowry texting and it was like Raymond Felton.
Yeah.
I got you today.
All right, before we move on, I want to hear from Carl first. Who got game 3? Who's winning this one? Wednesday, 9 p.m.
Oh, it's hard to listen. I want to pick my team. I mean, I'm gonna go Celtics. They haven't lost a back-to-back game in the playoffs, so I go Celtics. Celtics take 2-1 lead.
Celtics. Greg?
I mean, I wouldn't be on brand if I actually agree with Carl, so I'm not going to.
Don't schedule. Go ahead.
So
Nice.
give me the Warriors.
Deck?
I think we're going to see a big performance from Jordan Poole in game 3. I think he's going to shoot the lights out. I'm actually projecting him over 30. I think it's time for the third.
You got somebody placing sportsbook bets for you?
He's on that parlay with Paul, man. That's where he's at.
I don't know. Does Paul win, man? I feel like I'd be hearing about Paul, but I don't know if he'd be getting them winnings like that. Like
In
losses.
the comments, he can answer us. Paul,
Yeah.
Parlay P, how you doing out there?
Catch a lot of them
What's your win
L's.
percentage looking like?
Under 500. I'm gonna take the Celtics here. And honestly, it's just the back and forth nature of this postseason. I think
you have to find your own way to the game Thursday, bro.
Hey, you know what? That's all right. That's all right. I ain't say they're gonna win it all. I'm just saying I got them in game 3. That's how it's been looking, bro. Like, why? Like, to me, Golden State, they mess around and just not shoot well, which they shot what 40%, 41% from 3, and then it was like 45 from the field. And while it's great, they had 40 of those points in the paint. I just think that it's been such a inconsistent play from the Golden State because sometimes they don't even show up 3 quarters. Maybe 4 quarters. So I can
they
see
just need that 1/3 quarter, and next thing you know, the game is over.
They can.
Golden State needs like a good solid 5 to 7 minutes, and they can run you out of a gym.
Yeah,
they really can.
It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
Well, we'll see. I'm taking Celtics game 3. We're gonna talk on Monday. But Carl, thank you so much for coming on. Always appreciate.
Thank you guys.
Man.
Declan, man, growing out the hair looks good on you, bro. I can't front.
Thank
Looks
you.
good. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Take care.
Nothing looks as good as Greg's skin fade, though. I mean, skin fade Greg is
Got some two
Nah,
braids
it's
going.
clean, bro. Who hooked you up?
The barber at work, actually.
Wow.
Remember, we got a barber shop in the building.
Hold on. I'm saying, who braided your hair though?
Oh, my wife.
All right, go. All right. I was talking about, I mean, the lineup. You got the lineup, like you got it, bro. But like the braids, like you just showing.
Yeah, apparently
Skill
skin
level.
fade Greg is a menace. So I've been told in the comments.
Yeah.
Comments be knowing sometimes, bro. Yo, shout out to Justin Ruiz in the chat. He said he'll pick me up. Appreciate you, Just. I don't need Chris, aka Greg. But let's get into some baseball now, all right? Because it's been a long time coming. I mean, I feel like every time we come on, it's just like we could talk about these Mets. And we're going to start with the Mets.
Hold on, real quick. Can we shoot Cam an invite? Because I feel like he needs to hear this. Because he's been talking real spicy along the message boards.
Cam, you could put Khan in there too. Khan was like, "Oh, they're not gonna sustain this. You know, it's the same Mets. April is gonna be great for them. May they're gonna suck. We in June, bro. Like I said, June 6th.
No one said they were being okay. Khan and Cam didn't say it was over in May. All right.
They said they're going off a cliff, right? No, am I wrong? They're the same old Mets. I heard the same old Mets. And May is when they show out, and then I'm sorry, April's when they show out, and May is when they start to teeter off. Yeah.
I mean, that might have been the memes, but I'll just say this. I've had it up. Listen, I've had it up to here with
hold on.
Proclamation.
Before you get into it, all right, I want to bring on our next guest to talk about our New York situation. And he's not necessarily a New York fan, but I like to look at him as an ally when it comes to these issues with the Mets sometimes and you Yankee fans, and that's Andres himself, one half of Sports Mania. Sir, are you ready? I see. Is that J. Cole?
I was confused for a second. Oh, I love it. I love it. He broke out the City Connect. That was not the City Connect I thought he was going to break out. Oh, so fire. That better
Sir,
be fast.
how are you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, I am on a show with a man with a fresh haircut, a gentleman with a beautiful shirt, and we got Deck with the flow going. I'm doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic, man. I am ready to discuss the best sport, and that's not an opinion, it's a spoiler. So let's get to it. Let's jump right into it.
Perfect. Well, Deck, actually, I was interested to hear what you had to say for your little rant that you're about to go on. Please continue now.
First of all, Andres, always happy to have you. That's a beautiful jersey. I mean, who's on the back of that? Jazz? Is it a? Oh,
it is Jazz. Yeah.
Oh, it's Jazz. Okay.
Jazz. Dude, that's one of the best City Connects. One of the only reasons to do the City Connect program.
One of the most exciting players right now in the game.
Facts.
Absolutely. One of the more. He's very like he's just such a trailblazing figure. Like, first of all,
he like people say, he plays the game the right way. You know how old heads love saying that? He plays it.
You know the emoji I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
buddy.
Okay, yeah. I guess to get back on the New York track, because we're going to talk about the teams with the two best records in baseball, and that's the Yankees.
Wait, say that one more time. In baseball.
Two best records in baseball.
All of baseball.
Oh, I thought my AirPod wasn't working. I just had to hear that one more time. Interesting. Very interesting.
Yankees, of course, obviously the best in the AL, and the Mets best in the NL right now. I was just going to say this. I know I've been gone a little bit. I think it's about a month. Can we cool it with the premature proclamations? I mean, we heard that that it was a Mets town. First of all, now it's always gonna be Yankee town, but it is a nice New York baseball town. Andres, I'll say it again, a nice baseball town. Because that's
interesting.
New York has turned that way. The tides have turned. I like it. But did I say that they were gonna go, fall off a cliff in June? No, I didn't. And I'm glad that I wasn't part of that call out. But I don't think Khan and Cam exactly said that either.
They did.
100% did.
They absolutely
No,
did.
they just said that you guys saying that the takeover was happening.
There were two separate.
That was a part of it. That was also a part of
it. And what they keep misconstruing is that we said the takeover is going to happen this year. No, what we said was there's a culture difference in the way the game is played on each side of town, and the Mets bring an excitement to the game that while doesn't mean the Yankees aren't good, but it's a culture.
You were just going to say, well, the Yankees don't, and then you realize that didn't age very well now, did it?
No, I didn't say the Yankees. No, that's never what I said.
You caught yourself.
No, no. I have to be very specific for you three because clearly your ears aren't working.
You said you three? What happened? What we doing?
Cam, Declan, and Khan.
Okay. Those three.
Those three. And we said that the culture difference is what's going to engulf the city over the next few years if they continue this pace of play.
And what if the Yankees continue the same pace of play?
But the Yankees are boring baseball. That's the difference. Yeah. Watching the Yankees is not exciting. They're winning. It's exciting for Yankee fans, but we're talking about the casual fan. The casual fan is not going to tune in to watch Nasty Nestor like we would, even though we're not even Yankee fans.
The gatekeepers love Yankee baseball. like period. Like this traditional way of the right way of playing, like Andres said. Whereas when you watch the Mets play, it's the vibe, it's the energy, it's a different feel. Even ownership, bro. Like look at how Steve Cohen is, Like he to me, he's just, you look at the face of your organization with your players and then also your ownership, and that can kind of tell you what that can mean for a fan base. And I just think that they have this energy, they have this synergy right now going through this entire organization that can catapult them. You know what I mean? Because when you lose, obviously no one wants to watch it, but when you're winning and you have fun winning the way that they have been, you win over casuals left and right.
Not only that, the front office, they actually have balls. Like if you told me that the Wilpins would have caught Cano because of his contract, you would have been lying. Or if they would have sent down Dominic Smith because of his numbers, you would have been lying. But Declan, Obviously you're like my age and stuff, so you probably seen the meme of they got the dog in him. So the Mets got that dog in him, and then the Yankees just don't. Like Steph said, the Mets are playing fun baseball, and they got that dog in him. It's really that simple.
That by no means means the Yankees are a bad team. That's not what that means. It's just a different type of baseball.
Yeah, and here's the deal. Right now, first of all, the casual fan, in case I have to explain this, will always gravitate towards Yankee Stadium and the Yankees.
But we're not. But that. So Steph is not talking about that. What Steph and Greg are trying to say is the baseball, the culture, the stadium, like everything. Like as a grown ass man, you are not paying $30 to go watch Nestor Cortez pitch, Jordan Montgomery, Jameson Taylor. You guys have run through like 700 pitches in the last 3 presidencies, bro.
And
like,
then the Mets pitchers that you would watch to pitch are on the shelf right now.
They're still so entertaining.
They are 100%. But they're not.
I gotta raise my hand one more time. They're not talking about the past years. They don't care about the Wilpons. They don't care about the past presidencies. They're talking. The only thing Greg and Steph said was this year. It's a race. It's a marathon. It's not a race. Excuse me. We get it. The Yankees turn water into wine. They cure cancer. They're the first MLB team to do everything in the history of the game. They saved the game. Yada yada yada. But we don't care about the Jim Crow era. We don't care about the time when John F. Kennedy was alive, bro. We're talking about
neither do I. The Yankees have the best record in baseball.
Steph, I believe we also said. And in order for our culture, in order for our proclamation to come through, because we said it's not something that will happen in a year, we said the Mets would also have to sustain winning.
Yeah, which they have.
We know. We know it's a marathon. It's like what 33.3% of the season gone, and you know what's crazy? Declan, I'm not saying you, but you feel a part of this equation. Yankee fans hate the Mets so much that every single time the Mets are on, somehow they know what the score is. They know who blew a lead. Like I don't understand.
Shout out to Eddie in the comments.
I don't understand, bro.
Andres, I love you, but you just proved that you're from Miami and not New York.
They moved.
It is so universally known. Hold on, we have to put this out there because it's 3-on-1. Eddie's saying it's fixed. I don't care. Hold on, let's just talk about this. The idea that now Yankee fan. First of all, I'm a Yankee fan who I have no problem with the Mets. Like DeGrom is
That's you though, bro. Right. That's you. That's me. You're young. All the older heads, they don't care about the Mets.
First of all, Mets fan. Yeah, you're right. They don't care about the Mets. Yankee fans don't care about the Mets. It has always been the other way around. That's why the Mets have a hot April, and now we're talking about taking over the whole city after decades of New York Yankees culture has been engulfed in the town, engraved in the town. So that's what that whole culture thing was about. But exciting baseball, the most exciting player in baseball by far is the current AL MVP favorite, not most exciting player in baseball. Most
Rafael Devers, absolutely.
Is Aaron Judge. Without question.
So I do not think that is 100%. He's the best player in New York right now, but most exciting, I would not say.
Here's my thing too. Long ball, and he's got 21 home runs.
Here's my thing, right? I agree with Greg and Deck. You have a point. You have a point up to a point where he is the best player in baseball. He's fun to watch, but can we not agree that if Aaron Judge was playing for the Mets, how much more elevated it would be with what he's doing? And I'm not saying that Aaron Judge
out of the ordinary.
No, it wouldn't be out of it. Stop it. Like Pete Alonso is.
No, I mean, Pete Alonso's leading the NL in home runs and RBIs.
And he's not Aaron Judge. I mean, come on.
But here's my thing, though. Pete
Alonso, bro. Pete Alonso was getting like MVP shouts the other day, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, come on, dog.
My thing is
publish it too.
my thing is just it's again, it is cultural. It's what the Mets bring to the plate. It's the fun that they have, and we all know that baseball is worse when there's no fun in it. And so often the old heads, the gatekeepers, like to kill the fun, right? They like to focus on, you have to play it the right way. You know, it's you score a run, you hit a home run, you run around the bases, sprint around the bases, don't celebrate. And that's not the Mets, man. When you watch them play, when you watch them battle, you feel it like they've had a lot of come from behind victories, even in this past series with the Dodgers.
Against the best team in the NL, and really what is the class of the National League.
Yes.
I mean, they also just got swept by the Pirates, that same Dodgers team, but that's fine.
So here's what I'll say about that. That was cute.
So
that was cute.
The funny. Let me say something real quick. I know I'm not a Mets fan, but Greg and Steph can attest to this. Declan, you haven't been like active in the group chat, but how many Mets games this season have we said, oh, they would have lost that game last year? Oh, they would have lost that game last.
So
I got
many,
at
bro.
least 15, bro. On Saturday, what day is it today? Monday. On Saturday, the Mets season was over in the top of the second, down 4-1. And after Sunday, they split the series with the Dodgers.
Powerful.
Am I wrong or am I wrong, Declan?
And not only that, and I know we have an issue with how Buck manages the pen from game to game sometimes, but you have a lot of guys in the pen that are stepping up that in previous Mets teams would go in there, get shelled, and we'd be like, oh, let's phone it in, like Holderman or even Adonis Medina coming in and striking out. I think it was Will Smith or somebody like that.
No,
but,
Mookie.
It was Trey
prestigious.
Turner, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. He rolled right through him.
The heart.
You know what I'm saying? So
and when Diaz did the same in the 8th inning.
And I was talking about the last game when Medina came in and closed it out when they brought in Diaz.
Yeah,
but you have guys that are stepping up. Trevor Williams is probably the 12th guy in almost all bullpens. But now we're running him out there as a fifth starter, and we're winning games. These are things that previous Mets teams, you would just chalk up an L as soon as you saw the probables.
You got Jason Vargas on the mound. I am not tuning in tonight.
and again, I didn't want to get away from it because, like, it's not to say, to focus on, man, the Mets are amazing. They're better than the Yankees. Like, the Yankees are playing very well. I don't want to take anything away from them, right? Their starting rotation has been amazing. Like, you have
the best in baseball, too.
Yes, the best in baseball. You're right. You're 100% right. Healthy.
Real quick. Shout out to Justin in the comments because he said that Nasty Nestor is the most exciting player in the Yankees, and I'm gonna have to agree with that.
One of the biggest personalities.
Here's the deal. In baseball, right? When we talk about excitement, yeah, like for us, obviously people who know the game on an advanced level, like there's excitement in like the little things, of course. But to baseball as a whole, summer baseball, obviously the home run derby is like a whole matinee. It's big for everybody.
The biggest.
Go ahead. What's up?
The biggest and best all-star game is baseball. Continue.
Without question, because it's by far. I mean, that's like comparing Adam Silver to the rest of the commissioners. I mean, it's like
they're all ass, Declan. We're not twerking for billionaires on this show. They're all ass. Period.
Twerking for billionaires. I love it. Put on a shirt. Put on a shirt. Finish your point though, Deck. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Nah, you get it. Aaron Judge is a 6'7", 280-pound beast who plays elite defense and leads the league in home runs so far to this point. Right now, that's just generically speaking, that's more exciting than a guy who's throwing 93.
Here's the thing, and here's where I disagree. His size, his stature, he's the buttoned up guy. He goes about his business. Again, best player in New York right now, not taking that away from him. Front runner for AL MVP. I'll give him that as well. But when you see a guy like Nestor, who wasn't supposed to be this, and is this, and takes the mound every 5th day, it's like, okay, what is he going to do now? Is he going to keep it up? Judge, there's an expectation there that, you know what? He's going to do this because that's what he does. And I didn't want to get ahead of myself, Steph, about the contract. But with Nestor, there's that unknown, like, is this going to be the day where he folds? And people tune in for that.
Yeah, it's very true.
I mean, even
all the people that hate the Yankees or like despise the Yankees and stuff, they're watching them to watch them fail. So like the people that don't watch Nestor Cortez, they're like, oh, listen, it was a Mickey Mouse start. We won't do it next time. He faces Team A. Oh, that was another Mickey Mouse team. He won't do it next time. Like, they're tuning in to watch him fail. Like, you know how miserable you have to be to watch a team just to see them fail? I mean, I do it with the Yankees in the playoffs, but that's a different story. I'm talking about like individual.
Now we want to talk about last year and the years before. Yeah, go ahead.
No, bro, listen, I'm a real hater. If the Yankees are on in October, I'm watching them fail.
I appreciate the honesty.
That, for sure.
It's the truth, though. Like, baseball is never going to be NBA where people watch these superstars just to watch them fail. People that love baseball, they're watching them. Like, me personally, I'm a Red Sox fan. I love watching Aaron Judge. On Saturday, I went to the game, Declan, and I recorded the first pitch, and the first pitch was a home run, and I got it on video. Like, Like people that love this sport, they're gonna tune in to watch these players play, regardless if they hate them or not. But what we're trying to say is like people are watching Nestor Cortez to watch him fail. You're miserable. You're miserable. It's that simple. I'm surprised the ghost of George Steinbrenner hasn't come back and asked him to shave his mustache off.
That him and Matt Carpenter.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But I love that this kick-started. So we're due 33.3% of the season.
Hold on, because Manny Manos is in the comments. Just absolutely chatting, talking about Yankee fans speak its hate, Yankee haters speak its honesty. The man actually called himself a hater, something most people won't do. So I'm gonna give credit there. Also, the whole issue we had with Yankee fans and Cam, because Cam is an Atlanta Braves hater, and I hope they choke and die and don't make the playoffs. I hate the Braves.
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel.
Right?
You don't have anything
Steph, I took that from your book. Steph, I took that from your book.
Greg, you have nothing to worry about the Braves or anyone else. They play in the worst division in baseball. You're going to be all right.
I'm okay.
Wait, time out.
But their whole notion is, oh, well, the Mets are always good in April and May. But when we say that this team is different, like, oh, well, we'll see. No, they're not. There's the same old Mets. That's what we get in return. Am I right or wrong, Steph?
100% right. Honestly, you giving them May. I thought, from what I remember, they were saying that they would teeter off in May because April is when they start hot, and then once the calendar flips to May, you start to see start losing series, and that's when the Mets start to show their true colors. And again, we're in June 6th, and this Mets team has shown time and time again that they have the grit to go in there and win games, even when they're behind. And like you said, Andres, when we're in the chat, we look at these games, we're like, they would lose this last year. This team has too much heart, too much fight. Whether it's on the mound or it's at bat, they are just an impressive team. And again, this wasn't about, it wasn't supposed to be, talking smack about the Yankees, but Declan, you brought it there.
No, it always gets brought there.
No, because all I wanted to say was there was a lot of energy after we first spoke about the Mets and how this is going to be a takeover eventually because of the culture, because of the winning,
Oh, and he froze.
Wow. This isn't a different team.
I really got to get my screenshot game up on the computer because you definitely froze. And you made the only ugly face.
You know what's wild? I make a lot of ugly faces, but if we're being honest, if we all got frozen at some point, we probably make a lot of ugly faces too. It's not just me.
Fair enough. You just get frozen more often. That's all.
You're right.
You just get frozen on that Cricket Wireless.
Damn. Oh, the Sports Hitlist presents the UFC main event: Declan Carmen versus Stephen Polius. This is
sponsored by Cricket Wireless.
and Poland Springs.
Oh, snap, Deck, you got it. All right, I'm not even gonna touch that one. What my connection kind of.
When it comes to the Yankees and Mets, I feel like a good analogy is the Clippers and the Lakers. Like Laker fans want the Clippers to be irrelevant, and the Clippers have like the better team and have had the better team the last 10 years. It's the same thing with the Lakers care about being the most popular team in LA. The Yankees care about being the most popular team in New York. And the Mets and the Clippers, who are the little brother, I can't even put it in quotes because it's true. They just care about winning. Would you guys agree?
But here's
not necessarily. Because I don't think it's the teams per se. I think it's the fan bases.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true. That's here's the thing though. What the Clippers have in common with the Mets is that little brother thing will always never change. You just said it yourself. Better team over the last 10 years. Despite the fact, I know, Mickey Mouse ring, whatever, they won in that time. The Clippers have never won.
Good man.
That's fine. Man. Yeah, I have no problem saying that. But the Clippers have had a better team over the last 10 years. And if you asked the casual basketball fan, or actually a fan who is not even a big basketball fan, who knows a little, are you even sure that they would say that the Clippers play in the Staples Center? That's just kind of like the whole casual nature of LA basketball, to the point where it's just like the Lakers are always going to be the big brother in that town. And that's like the LA Lakers will always be above the LA Clippers, just on merit.
Number one, it's crypto.com arena now.
I know. I saw you put a little asterisk. You might as well put an asterisk the second I said it.
Number two, but like it doesn't matter if they're like the little brother or not. Like they just care about winning. They don't care about taking over the city. Like what Steph and Greg are trying to say. Like they want to take over the city, but like they also want to win. Like they don't care about being like God and everyone knows that the Yankees are always going to be the most popular team in New York and probably the United States of America.
But Greg
like,
and Steph have contested that down the line in the future. That was part of their tape. So that's why it got brought up. I didn't just pull it out of left field. The history of it. That's why it was brought to the table. That's why Con and Cam were kind of even brought into that conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, everyone and their mother knows that the Yankees had is iconic, whatever, yada yada yada, 27 rings, yada yada yada. Like no, like bro, like pass the page and like we get it. Everyone in Europe. Exactly. Nobody cares about bro. The last time. Like, why are we talking about the Jim Crow era? John F. Kennedy was alive. Martin Luther King Jr. was alive. Like, bro, the Yankees are not relevant anymore. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry.
Yo, sponsored by the Onion, bro.
Hey, the Onion is great.
well, we're talking about the Yankees. I want to shift to Aaron Judge. We mentioned him a lot here, and this is a guy that hours before the season started. Yankees offered him an extension, 7 years, $230.5 million that he turned down, which there were a lot of people who were like, man, how could he do that? Why would you turn that money down? There have been a lot of young players that have taken the money when it's been extended to them, right?
Look at Lindor.
I mean, I'm even going back to.
I don't think Lindor counts. We're talking about like younger.
I don't think those other guys. I don't think the other guys have the relevance as the Lindor.
Tatis, it's Acuna.
Yeah, but that was. I'm saying, but those guys were
Ozzy Albies.
Yeah, Albies for sure. Like is one because to me those other guys got really like decent contracts if you think about it for them, like great team friendly ones. But Albies is just ridiculous. All right,
same with Acuna, man.
Acuna, the potential earnings to be so much higher, but and that's the point, right? Here we have it now. Absolutely. Aaron Judge had a really good season last year, but now leads the league in home runs at 21, has like 40 plus RBIs, 40 something runs scored. He is tearing the cover off the ball, batting .313, right? If he takes that extension now, 7 years, numbers like this that we all can expect from Aaron Judge diminishes potential value, potential earnings. And more we're seeing a lot of young players taking the money, and that's not a knock on them. I understand their situations are different, it's circumstantial. But here is a perfect example in case in a player that decided to say, hey, you know what? I'm worth more than this. I believe I'm a better player than the $230.5 million, which a lot of people say, oh my God, that's so much money. It's relative. These owners have billions of dollars. And to throw that at Aaron Judge, knowing what he can do, is foolish. And I want to hear your takes of everyone on the panel. Deck, I'll start with you. It's your team, baby. Like, what do you think of this notion of this, again, him betting on himself? And were you one, I don't actually know, but were you one of the people that were saying, man, he should have taken the extension?
No, I was one of the people arguing with people in the hit list who were saying that it's $31 million. And now they started to bring in like real life examples of why he shouldn't make that much money. And I'm just like, bro, I think I even tagged Greg in it. Greg said, how could anyone sit here and tell someone that they should take less money and how to be a better bit? You wouldn't tell a businessman, hey, go get screwed out of a deal and take $10 million less. Like, no, the logic behind that is so stupid. Credit to Aaron Judge. This is a situation where obviously guys have been putting up consistent numbers for the last 4 or 5 years, with the exception of, maybe two injury-filled seasons, just betting on himself. And I was saying because, 2018, there we go, 2018, 2020. Yeah. I was just saying earlier, some of those examples, right? Like when you were going with the guys like Albies, Tatis, even I think Eloy Jimenez took a contract. Yes. I was thinking of Ke'Bryan Hayes. Excuse me. Those guys took contracts like before they
awful contracts, I might add.
Horrible contracts.
Awful.
That really took away their value, because their value 6 years down the line is not projectable, or at least it was not projectable in that contract with the way it was astronomically off base. Judge was a guy who did the year before his contract bet on himself in a contract year after 5 years of major league production. Lindor was in that spot last year. He took the deal with the Mets. Obviously, Mets fans, I'm sure you wish he didn't, and that it was a little that you could have gotten that. Not that you wouldn't want him gone, but that value for the deal is not good, especially if you look at the other shortstops deals and whatnot as well. 342 mil. I'm telling you, 342 mil over the next 10 years. I'm a big Lindor guy. Lindor guy.
Real quick to
wait, let him finish. Let him finish. Hold on.
You would have gotten less money if you would have re-signed Lindor at the end of the year. Wouldn't have been $342 million after the year you had last year.
41.
$341 million. See, sorry, we're off by one. I'm just saying the value there.
Hey, 1 million. 1 million is a lot of money. May I add?
Right. So that's a guy who bet on himself where it kind of backfired on the front office temporarily, but the Aaron Judge thing worked out. Where it backfired on a player was Michael Conforto. That and Ian Desmond, I remember from years ago, turning down $100 million contracts to then sign like $8 million contracts, which is just so confusing. But I love what Judge did. I think the Yankees will re-sign him in the offseason. I don't think the Yankees offer was unfair either, or anything that you won't see in the market value.
So Justin Ruiz is in a comment said, you don't know at the path they took to get to that point of that life-changing money. And what I'll say is, your talent level.
Too.
You know your talent level. Brian Hayes signed an 8-year extension for $70 million. He's currently the best hitter on the Pirates. And what he did is I kind of put this on his agent too, or his marketing team. He sold himself short, as did Acuna, as did Ozzy Albies, because these guys have talent where they have all-star capabilities, and it's not like the organization doesn't have it, but they took the first deal the organization threw at them. And in terms of business practices, regardless of where you came from, they're still putting your best business foot forward, and they didn't do that, and they're going to lose out on the back end. Same thing with Fernando Tatis Jr., because they're going to far outplay their contracts if they health and all that, especially with baseball being guaranteed money. So if they're going to give the money up front, don't get slighted by the organization. And that's what these organizations really did. They skimmed off the top.
It's smart. You get them while they're young and they're vulnerable, right? Like, they don't have the financial security. So when you wave that much, hundreds of millions at them, they're gonna go for it. And and to Justin's point, I'm not gonna knock a guy necessarily for taking that money, because we don't know their circumstances, their situations, which I said earlier, and I understand that. But there is something to be said about a player like Aaron Judge, who he did bet on himself and currently is winning, because those potential earnings are serious. We're talking about like a drastic difference sometimes in that potential pay. And I look at Aaron Judge as what we expected from Bryce Harper before the injuries, before the poor performance, where he got his big contract, 330 mil, but we were expecting, something close to 400, maybe 500, like Bryce Harper was going to break the bank. We were going to see Bryce really be that player that we would have, head spinning.
We thought Bryce was going to be Trout. Let's call it what it is.
I mean, they were it's 1A, 1B, at a certain point. And to me, Judge is playing himself into that situation that Bryce Harper didn't get a chance to. And that, to me, it's life-changing, right? Like, yes, it's more money. You were talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. But if you signed a contract, right? Or rather, let's say you started working at your job and you're assigned to do X, Y, and Z, but you overperform. You're overperforming over the next 3 years, but your contract is for 5 years. So you're getting paid the same amount, even though you're outperforming what is expected of you. You're not going to sit there and tell me you're not going to be pissed that you missed out on extra money, because you are deserving of it. And these players are very much so deserving of this extra money. And here we are finding ourselves saying, oh, they should have just taken it. They should be happy what they have. Yes, in our lives, we haven't seen that kind of money. So we're ready to be like, okay, why are they complaining? But it's relative. It's all relative. And even the DeGrom right now, right?
He's opting out.
Yes, as he should, because when he took that contract, right, it was like, as a Met fan, very happy, super happy. But DeGrom, oh my God, could he have gotten paid? You know what I mean? And he knows that. and that's just a part of the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and it is a bet. All right, you are taking a risk because DeGrom gets injured that year, or he deals with the injuries he's dealing with now. Then those potential earnings drop drastically. He's not getting that same money. All right, so it's not a guarantee. We all know that, but again, I gotta say kudos to a guy like Aaron Judge, who is just doing exactly what he needs to do, and hopefully is gonna get that money if he continues on this path. But Andres, I see you moving back and forth. You got something you want to say, sir? You're active over there.
No, I was just waiting for everyone to speak. I didn't want to be rude this time. There's 3 or 4 things. Number one, I think that was a great analogy. If I'm working at a job, right, and I'm busting my ass and I'm making X amount of dollars an hour, right, I know for a fact that I'm worth more. So I'm gonna be like, hey, listen, I'm getting paid X. Can I get paid X plus 1, X plus 2? Like it happens a lot. I don't think people realize that. Number 2, I'm never going to fault someone for saying what their value is. When it comes to African American NBA players, we see all the time that people say, oh, why is he getting paid 30 million? Why is he getting, like, how are you going to tell me how much you're worth? You know what I'm saying? So Aaron Judge not taking the money and being like, you know what? I'm a pretty fucking good baseball player. Like, I deserve to be paid more. So why are we faulting Aaron Judge for believing himself? And number 3, I feel like it's a combination of both. So obviously, if you don't live under a rock, you know what the situation is in Venezuela. So obviously, Acuna taking that 8-year, $100 million deal was good for him. We as baseball fans were like, hold on, who the hell is his agent and why the hell is he not fired yet? Because the day of tomorrow, Juan Soto is going to get paid $500 million and Acuna's going to be like, what the hell? Like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Where am I going to get $500 million? Like, what am I going to get $375 million? So, and to conclude this part, we need to stop pocket watching and we need to stop, like Steph said and like Greg said, we need to stop looking out for the teams. These owners do not care about you. The day of tomorrow, they will trade you. They do not. There's a thing on Twitter that said, you should not tell a company when you're going to put your 2 weeks in because they don't tell you when they'll fire you. They just fire you. And it's true. So why the hell are the baseball players trying to like be guaranteed and stuff? So there's nothing wrong with these people getting paid. Mookie Betts asked John Henry for $350 million, right? And John Henry said, no. Am I going to be mad at Mookie Betts for saying, you know what, bro, take 300? No, because it's not my money. Like, why? Like, we need to stop signing with these billionaire owners, man. They don't care about it.
Or for trading.
What?
Be mad at them for trading.
John Henry's going to be looking up in the future, not looking down. That's a story for another day. But these players are worth so much. Like you're gonna tell me that a couple $1 million is really gonna hurt your pockets that bad? Like really? Like bro, we need to like Carl started this shit about not pocket watching, and it's the most smartest thing ever because like why are we worried about Lindor? Declan, I'm not faulting you. I'm not picking on you. I promise. But why are we faulting Lindor for making $341 million? Like no. Another thing is if the Mets win a World Series out of this, the contract like it's validated. Number one. But like why do we care how much these players make? Like, there's no honestly, maybe Lindor is underpaid with the way he's been playing this year. He has an OPS over 800, top 15, and one above
batting average.
But Greg, what his batting average? Like, come on, bro. Like, please, man, please. Let's stop pocket watching, and I hope Acuna signs a new deal because 8 for 100, man. That's his agent.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal with the whole pocket watching thing. And this is where things in the hit list catch fire. Like a little saying catches fire. There's a t-shirt about it sometimes. And then we start misusing the shit out of it for the next 2 years. And it gets so painfully annoying. Pocket watching would be the idea of like telling an Aaron Judge, you can't take the contract, you can't make up. Pocket watching saying Lindor's overpaid, looking at it from a front office standpoint and a team standpoint, yeah, it's not my money. I don't care. I'm not
exactly. So why are you worried about how much Lindor makes?
But see, I'm not worried about how much Lindor makes. I'm worried about.
But you brought it up though. You brought it up for a reason because it's bothering you that he's making $341 million.
But no, hold on, Andres. Do you have amnesia? It's not why I brought him up.
No,
I brought up Lindor because I was using it as an example of, okay, he signed that deal before the beginning of the year. if Judge signed the deal before the beginning of the year, he would have been kind of, like, oh, why did I sign this deal? I'm having a great year. Whereas Lindor had a bad year last year and had the comfort and the security of it not being a contract year anymore. And now the Mets were kind of looking around like, oh, crap, we did sign this guy. And Mets fans were panicking. You could blame them. But as far as if a contract's bad, that's like if I said, why'd the Yankees sign Jacoby Ellsbury? And you said, no, why are you pocket watching? Let him make $40 million a year and sit on his ass.
Why do you care how much?
That is so dumb.
Why do you care?
Cashman should be fired for that contract alone.
Why?
Like, that's not pocket watching. That's calling out stupid things that front offices do.
Why do you?
Because God knows they do it every other week.
Makes?
Hold
on.
That's not pocket watching.
Let me ask you a question.
Carl Pavano ran away with how much from the Yankees? Should I be congratulated? Thanks for not pitching 3 games in 4 years and making $20 million? Or should I look at Steinbrenner and say, why are you signing him? It's so no.
Was there still food on your table?
He's not on the payroll.
No. Was there still food on your table?
But see, that's not the point. I'm not looking at it from a fan standpoint. I'm not looking at it from a fan standpoint.
So
we come here to give an analysis.
Hold on, Greg.
We come in here to give analysis, to analyze.
Was there still food on your table?
Okay, he makes the money. He can have that money and not.
Was there still a roof over your head? What did you still? Were you still be able to go to high school? So why the hell are you worried about how much Jacoby Ellsbury makes? Is it your money? Are you going?
Because then my team couldn't sign anybody good the next offseason. What do you mean, why am I one? Dude, we brought in like Brandon Drury to come play third base to start on opening day against Toronto. That's why I'm worried about what Jacoby Ellsbury's making.
You know who's the Yankees legend, man? Vernon Wells. We love Vernon Wells.
Oh, Vernon Wells. Throwback. I will say, just on its face, if we're talking about the definition of pocket watching, that is pocket watching.
But if you're looking at it, hold on. But if you're looking at it from a front office standpoint, and also I'm not looking at it from a fan standpoint.
Yeah.
We come on the show to analyze the game.
To critique. Yes.
That's a different. That's like if JJ Redick came out and said that, called out a bad contract, are we going to say, wow, you're a clown for talking about what this guy's finances are? No, you're right, because it was a dumb contract and you called it out. It would be offensive.
That's different.
Hold on. Let Greg. I want to hear from you, Greg.
So, Andres, right? Love your take as far as the numbers go, but this is how I can tell you're Carl student. Because
it's the truth though.
It's a truth without lacking context within the truth. Because when we talk about like the Knicks giving Jerome James $30 million is not a smart business decision because he wasn't good. Am I happy? Jerome James, but here's the thing: 2 things can be true. Am I happy for Jerome James? He got paid, absolutely. But guess what happens now? The Knicks are hindered because they can't sign reputable quality players at different positions of need because they allocated so much money in a position and a player that wasn't needed. And that is what happens when the Yankees signed a Jacoby Ellsbury or what's the other guy?
Carl Pavano?
Yeah, Carl Pavano. They hindered, especially with Baby Steinbrenner not wanting to go above the luxury tax. So that plays a role. So this is a case where 2 things absolutely can be true. You can be happy for the player getting paid.
I agree.
I want Aaron Judge, but you can also want your organization to spend smartly, which is why I said I wasn't mad at the Yankees for what they did, but I also wasn't mad at Aaron Judge for turning it down. And I think both made the smart play.
So let me ask you guys a question, all 3 of you. Was the Mike Trout $400 million deal the right move to make for the Angels?
For the Angels, yes. For Mike Trout,
yes.
Absolutely not.
Awful for Mike Trout. Awful for Mike
Trout. Why?
Great for the Angels.
Why? But why though? He said his. Listen, a lot of people think that these athletes need to have a legacy in their sport, but bro, $400 million to play the game that I love. Holy Jesus.
On the surface level, that's great. But when you start analyzing it from a business level, he did not get paid his worth.
That's what we've been talking about this
in
whole
that
time.
Moment, he did.
Period. In general,
worth more than 400 mil. If Mike Trout goes to the market,
400 mil
player. If Mike Trout goes to free agency, trust 400 million is a low ball offer. 100%.
Could he get up? Could he get?
But he was the first. He was the first $400 million player.
Just because he's the first,
right? But
doesn't-
that's the point, Andre.
They
because
had
the
to do
market
that.
Has changed since he signed that deal.
Okay, but that's the thing though. That's the topic. Acuna getting 100 a couple years ago.
Here's the thing.
I'm sorry, Greg.
Trout was so good that he was comparable to Pirates Barry Bonds, who won 3 NL MVPs and batting titles prior to him signing his contract. That's how good he was. He was literally the best player in baseball. And I think he was in his mid-20s. So if you sign Trout for 10 years and $500 million, nobody would have been mad at you. Nobody. If he made $500 million.
You would have understood just because we hadn't seen a player like Trout. Trout was generational in what he has done. And to think that Bryce Harper was the 1B, right? And he was going to make crazy. We were talking about how much money Bryce could make. Harper get 350?
He got 330.
330.
330. He settled.
Yeah.
Bryce settled.
But see, it would have been hard for Bryce to get more money in my mind, right? Like he could have got a little bit more, but not like 400 mil, close to 400 mil, just because of the injury proneness and he didn't perform as well leading up to that contract. Now, Mike Trout, though, very different story. What do you say?
I say he didn't have a great contract.
Yeah,
he didn't. The home run derby, that was nice, but
overall numbers weren't special. For Bryce Harper? No, for Bryce Harper, I'm saying the numbers you expect from Bryce Harper, he wasn't giving those. But that's not the focus. Mike Trout, though, is someone that could have got way more than 400 million. What we've been talking about this whole time is value and relativity. It's relative what these players are making. Like you can't tell me that there's a 230 mil is Aaron Judge's value. It's not. We all know it's not. Just like when we saw 400 million for Trout, that's not his true value. He wanted to stay with the Angels, though. Get it. 100% understand that. And that's why I'm not mad at Mike Trout. But if we're looking at this critically, right? If we're looking at this, in the lens that we're not trying to take in any kind of outside bullshit and just be objective, he could have gotten more money. That's all it is. And I get where Deck is coming from, too, when you talk about hamstringing the team. As a fan, it's real. But when we talk about the definition of pocket watching, it's still pocket watching.
And that's fine.
Me personally, I will always say a player is underpaid. I don't think I'll ever say a player is overpaid. Like Sandy Alcantara right now is underpaid.
Oh, well, Robinson Cano was pretty damn overpaid.
Hey, shout out to Manny. Manny's out here saying Soto's getting over 500 mil.
Yeah.
And
I wouldn't be surprised.
So that's what I'm saying. Is it the right move for the Nationals to give him $500 million right now?
I don't think it's going to be the Nats, though.
Yeah, the Nats can't do it. And if they can't, it sucks for them. But honestly, let's say that Trout does go to free agency and he ends up with a $500 million contract. Soto's going above that. He would have Trout did set, and the Angels had to do that. They had to set the barometer, right? They needed to go above anyone else. Otherwise, I don't think Trout would have taken it. So he becomes the highest paid player by a margin that's decent, that he can appreciate and his agent can appreciate. But we all know he could have had more. Now you have Soto, who's about to do crazy numbers, and any player that follows him that is just as good, if not better, is going to be above that. And so Soto's someone that I hope he gets his money's worth. Like he deserves that because of the player he is. And Aaron Judge about to have a payday too. Plain and simple. Well, we're gonna have to wrap it up here.
His age is definitely the X factor in some of these deals too.
I could see that too.
It is, yeah, definitely.
And same with DeGrom too. Like I love DeGrom, and that big deal sounds like it makes so much sense for the Mets, and it does. But at the end of the day, if he does wind up, having an injury-riddled next 3 or 4 years, and you do re-up him for 5, you're gonna look at that value like, oh, we might have got shorted. Now is that pocket watching, or is that just acknowledging a bad contract?
Mike Trout signed a 12-year, $426.5 million contract last year. Like last year was the first year he got 2 years. Bro, that COVID tax is crazy, man. Like COVID took like 6 years in one. But 2 years ago, we started making 36 million. So you guys are saying that Mike Trout could have gotten more than $430 million.
Yes. He's
I
that
don't know,
good.
man.
I think everybody else is saying that too.
450.
Are you telling me? I'm sorry. I want to acknowledge this. I said we're gonna wrap up, and both you and Deck decided to take liberties. I want to put that out there right now.
This is a great conversation. This is a great conversation.
No. I just want to acknowledge it. And then because you said that, I have to now re-engage, even though I was ready to
Acknowledge the sport we were
disengage.
talking about, though.
But we just sat here and all agreed that Juan Soto is definitely getting more than 500,000. Sorry, 500 million, right? And you're gonna 500 mil, right? And you're gonna go back and say that Mike Trout couldn't get 500 mil? You serious? Mike Trout. There was no one in the game that we could compare to Mike Trout the way that he was, right? He got robbed of several MVPs. We all know that. Like he was.
Well, his non-MVP years were better than his. Yeah.
He is the standard, right? For just the modern day baseball player when it comes to consistency and just putting up ridiculous numbers.
Right.
And you don't
There's no word to describe Mike Trout.
It's insane, but you don't think that he can get 500 million yet you're like, oh yeah, Juan Soto for sure. Come on.
No.
It doesn't make sense though. It doesn't make sense what you're saying.
I think Mike Trout is underpaid.
What? You do?
I think you just said $400 million. That makes you set for life.
No, I'm saying no. What I'm saying is he was the first.
Some angle. He's pocket watch.
No, I'm not.
I don't even know if that's a thing.
I'm saying
I don't.
Somehow
But
makes
it's
a
funny
little
as
sense.
hell.
Like he's somehow coming at this from a really weird angle.
Mike Trout was the first $426 million player, but like for the time, he got paid what he deserved. But in reality, he's worth more, if that makes sense.
So how couldn't he get more?
He probably topped it. I think that's what I'm saying. They gave him a blank check and he was like, "How much do you want?" He said, "You know what? This guy got 350. This guy, bro. These baseball players, they know what they're doing. Why do you think Aaron Judge didn't want 270? How much was it, Declan? 270, 270. Why do you think Aaron Judge didn't say, "Hey, player A is getting 30 million per year. Player B is getting 33. Why am I selling for 27?" Aaron Judge believes that he wants to get paid as much as Mike Trout does, and I don't have a single problem with it. Look at Aaron Judge, bro.
I mean, I don't know if Mike wants to see Mike Trout level. We might have taken it a couple of...
he needs more seasons to really get that established.
We might have taken it like maybe 100.
Okay, but Steph, I promise you can close the show after this. Yeah. Declan, if the day of tomorrow, right, the Yankees sign Aaron Judge for 10 years and 350. God willing, he's not a Yankee next year. But anywho, if the Yankees sign Aaron Judge tomorrow for 10 years and 350 million, are you gonna be mad at what he does when he's 38? Yes or no?
No, because you know that those contracts usually you get screwed on the back end for the most part.
Like Pujols with the ankle.
Okay. Yeah, it's a perfect Pujols.
Okay,
for the back end.
So we're in agreement. Okay, so we're in agreement. All right, Seth, you can close the show.
Yeah, I will close the show now, and I will say that I'll just you're wrong. All right, 500 million plus for Trout was very obtainable. He chose like a queen, like Albies. Like
he chose,
he chose to undervalue himself, which is perfectly fine. But
at the time, I don't think he did though.
What?
At the time, there wasn't even a 400 million guy.
No. That's what Andres is saying. That's what Andres is saying. But what I'm telling you is Trout was so different. He didn't have to compare. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. What we're telling you on this side, on the right side, instead of the wrong side, is that Mike Trout wasn't comparable to the player below him, right? Like they weren't close. He had the ability to reset the market in a way that it was like not like the next player that was like, oh, I'm an outfielder. I'm kind of like Trout. I want to get similar money. They wouldn't have been close, right? Like you look at Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was close-ish to getting Trout money, but he didn't have the consistency that Mike Trout had at that point. So to me, Mike Trout could have really shaken up MLB and shake up the baseball and did it. That's all I'm saying. He was worth much more than 426 mil. All right, that's a lot of money, huh?
426.5 million.
All right, thank you. You get a 0.5 on there. I know you like to be accurate.
Bro, I don't want to finish the show, but one more thing. So, Fernando Tatis Jr., right?
Yes.
He had one good year, and he bet on himself, and he got $340 million. Yep. So, do you think he's underpaid or overpaid?
severely underpaid. But
I
he's
think he's
gonna stay
underpaid.
healthy throughout the whole deal of the contract. That's
Yeah.
the only
Okay.
like, red flag up in the air.
Yeah.
That's it. It's just his health. But otherwise,
I mean,
he's underpaid.
And
I think
motorcycles.
he's definitely underpaid. I'm looking at him as underpaid for sure. Because like, I'm not gonna sit here and bank on someone being unhealthy their whole contract, right? Like, I'm not that
It's
person.
stupid, but that's what the casual fan does with every sport. They're like,
No, I
"Oh,
get it.
Patrick Mahomes is not going to be healthy when he's 42." Like, who cares? All right, Steph. I'm sorry. You can close the show now. This has been fantastic. Now we need a part two.
No, it has. I'm happy. I'm happy that Declan decided to extend it. You bit into it, and I just went with it. We're all just talking
We all
now.
went for it. Except Greg.
We're all to blame. We're all to blame here. But it started with Dak. I'm just gonna say that right now, for the record. For the record. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, as always, on a Smoke and Mirrors Monday. We had some great guests. Boss man himself, Carl Coulange, came on. Then we had our guy Andres come through, chat us up, bro. Appreciate you for that. Coming up though,
Appreciate the
all right,
invite.
Tuesday we're gonna have Chirp and Chat 5:30 p.m. our hockey show. You go check that out. All right, closing out the night is Fan Zone. Y'all saw Manny in the chat. Manny always talking. All right, him and Mike, I got a lot to say. All right, many models.
Oh,
In a good way or a bad way?
We get. I think
I'm not
they're
saying
gonna
either
have
way.
Wilson Esco Ramirez, the Yankee fan, and Boogie Morrell, the Met fan, who is the ultimate Yankee hater, on the show tomorrow. So
Whew.
you guys got to too. That's gonna get spicy.
So 7 p.m. It's still 7 p.m. That's a special
Yeah.
event. I don't know if they're gonna
Yeah.
shake it up. It's 7 still, right?
Yeah.
Y'all need to check out Fan Zone tomorrow because I'm gonna be there. I'm pulling up. I'm gonna be in the comments talking hot. 7 p.m. Fan Zone on Tuesday. Wednesday, you see that man down there in the bottom corner right there, one half of Sports Mania, 4 p.m. Sorry, 4 p.m. I almost got the time wrong. 4 p.m. though. All right. Andres, always appreciate you. We gotta get Jordan on here too. I feel like we haven't had him since like the first time, like long ago. We talking Cowboys? Definitely talking Cowboys.
Little Rockets Lakers.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly,
Damn.
maybe it had been when the Suns eliminated the Lakers last year.
Might have been. I know he had smoke for Greg. He definitely had smoke for Greg. That was part of the reason he came on. But Sports Mania 4 p.m. And then we got On the Court with Carl Coulange, boss man himself, at 7 p.m. Closing out the night is going to be AEW Injection at 10 p.m. All right. And don't forget Thursdays, the B Show. Now, Carl, every at the end of the month, or rather the beginning of the month usually, but the end of the month, you have the B Show. We have the B Crew, right? That comes on. That's me. It's Mike. We got Maricel. Like it's great, and we're on there doing our thing. I didn't let them know yet that I'm gonna be on there, but you know now, Carl, Deb, I will be there Thursday. All right, for the B Show. Y'all can see me on the B Show this week. See this beautiful mug. And we're gonna close out with one of the better shows, I would say, on the sports hit list right now. Gotta say it hands down right now. High Velocity 7:30. Like if y'all not doing something at 7:30, how come you're not listening and watching High Velocity baseball?
And learning.
So much knowledge to be had.
You're not going to
Some
learn
of that you got here.
You're not going to learn and get a lot of that knowledge from the debate at 7 p.m. tomorrow, but you'll get it on.
We know what side Deck's gonna be on.
It's gonna be fun tomorrow.
That was a great alley. That was a great alley from
Definitely,
Steph, I must
definitely.
say.
But hey, gentlemen, it's always a pleasure.
One more thing before I
look at
go.
you.
One
Hit
more
me
thing.
again.
Listen,
7
man,
times
there's every time I open up Twitter now, it's a different shooting. So we need to be grateful that we woke up today and stop being ungrateful that for little things that you may not have. So if you open up Twitter, there's like a school shooting or there's a mass shooting every single day for the last, I don't know, like 10, 11, 12 days. So be grateful that you woke up today. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, amen to that, man. That is very true. But with that, we're gonna close out. I want to thank you for everyone that watched, listened, tuned in. For our guests again, Andres, Carl, appreciate y'all for coming on. This is Smoke and Mirrors, presented by the Sports Hit List. I'm your host, Stephen Polius, alongside Declan Krogman and Greg Polius. We'll see y'all next Monday. Y'all have a great week.